A few weeks ago, I was here in Cyberpunk 2077, following NPCs around Night City to see if any of them had an actual routine. I created a 4-level NPC Sentience Scale, with level 4 being the Holy Grail, an NPC that eats, sleeps, works, and commutes. A complete life. And I absolutely did not find one. What I found was basically Roombas wearing human skin. Level 1 NPCs. And it led me into a bit of a crisis. And comment after comment said the same thing. Try this in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Kingdom Come has your level 4 NPC. So today we're going to see if you guys are right. We're traveling backwards from 2077, 674 years, to the year 1403. Welcome to the year 1403. Okay, so I am in the town of Miskowitz. I chose this town because it's a small and insular community, which makes it the perfect controlled petri dish to observe the locals. And because I googled what is the nicest town in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And this is a nice town. That's my dog Mutt. There's a big pond in the middle of town. We've got a market. We've got a baker here. He kind of looks like Mr. Beast. We've got a fruit and vegetable stand, and then a linen cellar. Were a lot of people buying linens back in the day? But here's what I want to know. If these NPCs have jobs, do they actually do them? Does the fruit and vegetable girl go pick vegetables? Does this woman spin linen or whatever? Does Mr. Beast here give away 1 million breads to charity? Or do they just chill here all day like goons? According to you guys, Kingdom Come 2 has some of the best NPC routines in gaming. So we're going to follow all 3 of these vendors for a full 24-hour cycle. And then just to make sure we're covering all of our bases, we're going to follow one completely normal person for 24 hours too. The vendors might have obvious jobs, but if this town is really alive, I think the better test is someone the game doesn't seem to be showing off. So first things first, let's find our normie. There's a tavern up here, I think. What have we got here? Housewife. Well, I'm not just gonna call you housewife, so how about Fiona?
Bandercoot.
What?
You know what has to happen now.
No, not yet. I just found Fiona. We're just about to get started.
The sponsor.
Please, she's about to do something. I can feel it.
Bandercoot.
Right. Of course. The sponsor. I love the sponsor. I am happy to talk about the sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Opera.
Smile.
I am smiling. Opera is my ideal browser, and it's genuinely helpful when I'm putting these videos together. First, Tab Islands, which lets me group tabs by context. A video like this means I've got a lot of tabs open for medieval history, script notes, and a rabbit hole about 15th century bread. But with Opera, I can just drag one tab over another and boom, they're grouped together. Collapse them when I don't need them, expand them when I do. Second, split screen. Instead of constantly switching windows, I can keep my Kingdom Come notes open on one side and my script on the other. I just drag the tab down to create it, and now I can compare things side by side without losing my place. Thirdly, the built-in player. I can access all of my music streaming services from the player, detach it and float it wherever I want, inside or outside the browser window. And it even pauses automatically if I start a video. Bring on the loot music. And finally, themes. Opera lets you customize everything, from colors and shaders to animated backgrounds and even sound effects. I especially like this dial that lets you choose the vibe of your color palette. Dragging it over these calmer tones weirdly does make me feel more relaxed. Check out Opera with the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you, Opera, for sponsoring today's video. Anyway, Fiona. Okay, so plucking a chicken. The chicken looks like it's kind of enjoying it. I don't know if that's a dead chicken. The feathers come off, but our chicken stays the same. Maybe this is it for her. Fiona the chicken plucker. I think this is her husband. It has been 7 real-world minutes of chicken plucking. Did you all lie to me? Kind of a nasty little sound. I wonder how they got that sound. Are they plucking real chickens at Warhorse Studios to get Foley? Okay, so according to Reddit, a 24-hour day is apparently 96 real-world minutes. This is going to be a long-ass 96 minutes if this is all this woman does. Oh! Wow! She's off with the bald bird. Whole bird in the soup pot. Where's she going now? Firewood stacking. Into the fire.
Something's missing.
Lady, there is a whole bird's body in that soup. What are you talking about? Now she's grabbing a basket. Where are you going, Fiona? Holy shit, guys. Yo, this is crazy. She's grabbing eggs from the chicken coop, bringing them back inside. Fiona, you are seizing the day in a huge way. And now sweeping. Okay, you guys were right. This is insane. And this is the first major difference between Kingdom Come and Cyberpunk. In Cyberpunk, most NPCs felt like they were attached to a location, but Fiona feels like she's attached to a day. At least so far. We'll have to keep watching. What's this butthole doing? Fiona has done like 6 things while he's just stood here all morning. I think you got that spot, Fiona. Okay, sweeping is done. Where to now? She's going to the trunk. Whoa, an outfit change. Time for a little nap. You've earned a nap, Fiona. Okay, so she sleeps, she works, she definitely has a routine. All she's got to do now is eat some food and we have a level 4 NPC. What about going to the bathroom? Do you ever pee, Fiona? This actually seems like a pretty nice life. Farm life. They even programmed her kind of talking in her sleep. This is the first time in one of these experiments where the NPC doesn't just feel like a prop. And she's awake. Another lightning speed outfit change. Guys, she is still doing stuff. Is she carrying the empty barrel to the water? Good Christ. She has such a massive routine. Look at this joker. Do you see how much work Fiona's doing? Okay, and water into the bucket. The only unrealistic thing so far is the fact that Fiona isn't 300 pounds of pure muscle. And a second scoop from the pond. Who's this pervert? Are the men in this game just schlubs? Okay, and back to the yard. Oh, look who's taking a break after a morning of leaning against a wall. F you. I assumed he was just a lazy, terribly programmed husband. I had no idea that by the end of this week, he would become my greatest teacher. Where's she off to now? Back to the chicken coop with no basket? Oh my god, it's the chicken's origin story. Okay, that was definitely the sound of a neck snap. This is like Memento. And back to plucking. Okay, so maybe this is the routine. Maybe the loop repeats itself now. Our girl hasn't eaten yet, though. She's gotta eat. They wouldn't program all of this and not at least toss her a bagel at some point, right? And another bald chicken. So the chicken has two states, feathers and bald. I guess if you were to animate the chicken's feathers coming out, you'd need like 80 instances of chicken models. Is that chicken feed? Guys, this is legitimately blowing my mind. Okay, seed away. Instant change again and another nap. So she still hasn't eaten or used the washroom. Maybe she's keto. Maybe she's in ketosis. Look at that look of existential dread. I've got that same look when I wake up, Fiona. Fiona, not another one. This seems to be what she really loves. Look at those dead eyes carrying her third chicken. Goodbye, my friend. Dream sweetly, my narcoleptic Fiona. At this point, I had followed this woman for an entire in-game day, and I had become weirdly emotionally invested in whether or not she gets dinner. Okay, it's midnight and they don't want me in here anymore. I've downloaded a free cam mod to see what these people get up to when I'm not allowed to watch, just so we get the full picture. So let's free camera our way in. Ah, they're sleeping as a little family in here. These two after a long day of nothing, and sweet Fiona. I guess I'll wait outside their window for the night and see what changes. Good morning. It's after 7 a.m. and everyone is still asleep. I just want to know if Fiona eats before her day begins. Where are you, Fiona? Oh my god. She's eating food. She does it all. She is the level 4 NPC I was looking for. They're all eating. It took me an entire video to not find this in Night City, and Fiona just did it all before breakfast. Fiona's not perfect. She changes clothes at the speed of lightning. She naps more than a baby, and she has an extremely troubling relationship with chickens. But by my criteria, she works, sleeps, eats, and moves through a real space with purpose. At this point, I thought Fiona was the answer to the experiment, but what I didn't realize is by the end she would become the experiment. So now the question isn't, can Kingdom Come 2 make a level 4 NPC? The question is, did I accidentally stumble upon the most fully fleshed out NPC in this game just by luck? Is Fiona a freak of nature, or is this entire town actually alive? And if this town has a working routine, the local economy should be the easiest place to prove it. So let's head back to the market to check on our three main suspects.
Take a
Fruit
look.
pierogi. Pastries here.
Did he just say fruit pierogi? We've got Mr. Beast selling buns, fresh sourdough, and pancakes as he calls them. He also has a couple random eggs. Then over here we've got the fruit and vegetable seller. She's got leeks, garlic, onions, parsnips, and carrots.
Apples. Juicy apples.
She keeps saying she has fresh apples. There are no apples here. To make up for the lack of apples, your name is now Apples. And then we've got the linen jester over here. She's selling patterned pillows, basic linens, string, and she's clearly wearing one of her own creations. And she's chosen jester chic for the look. Let's see what these three get up to today. Okay, it's noon and not a single person has stopped to buy anything from these three. They also haven't done a goddamn thing besides stand here.
Fruit pies.
Mr. Beast and Apples are trying really hard to sell their stuff. They have been going off announcing their wares to a village that couldn't care less. Linen Jester hasn't said shit. I like that she's just chillin'. Maybe she knows her linens will find their people.
Call back that dog. Get out.
Chill out, Apples. So is the player the only person that these markets are actually for? Because it's crazy that they'd give Fiona this massive routine and then the vendors standing out in the open don't seem to interact with anybody. Holy shit, we may have our first customer. Mutt, get away from him. Fuck. Mutt, you intervened. That might have been the first genuine act of commerce in this entire village and my dog shut it down. Bad boy, Mutt. Oh, another potential customer. Apples, what are you doing? Look at him at least. You've had so much to say all day and someone walks up and you don't say anything? You panicked! Well, it is 7 p.m. We have been here for 10 hours. These two have been saying they'll be closing soon for the last 2 hours. I assume that's another sales technique. Create urgency. So today the plan is to follow Mr. Beast home. You can really see the defeat in Jimmy's eyes here. He's been yelling fresh pies at a town that has no interest, and he doesn't even have pies. Wait, Where did the jester go? Linen Jester just disappeared. Where did Mr. Beast go? Apples is the only one here. Did I miss them walk away or did they vanish? Okay, Apples is on the move. I guess we're following her. Holy shit, she's running. Mutt has apprehended our fleeing NPC and I think confused her. So all of these NPCs seem to be trying to flee, but they're getting trapped by Mutt. Mutt is almost like an interloper NPC. He's connected to me, the real person, but he also exists inside the game world. He's between two realms. I think they see him as a threat. And Apples is going inside. I'm not allowed on the property, so we're gonna have to free cam this one. And look at this. Apples is eating dinner. She puts her bowl down and she's back outside. Where is she going at this hour? Was that not her house? Oh, she's turning around. Did I throw her off? She's washing up and now she's taking a seat. She hasn't broken eye contact with me for like 10 minutes. Man, this is creepy. I do not like Apple's vibe. Ah shit, Henry's getting tired. Henry, stay with me. My host body is weakening. Apples knows. She knows she can outlast me. Fuck. It is 11 p.m. and Henry is fading fast. I just have to make it to midnight.
Get out!
Okay, we made it. She's going in and she's sleeping. So I had to go to sleep, but I got back at 7 a.m. just in time to see Apples get up and head into the main room for another meal. So she's actually eating more than Fiona while burning about 10,000% fewer calories, standing around her failing fruit stand. She lives in some sort of commune. Look at Raiden over here. She eats her breakfast for about an hour, then gets up, walks over to her vegetable stall, and has this look of just complete emptiness. And then right at 9 a.m., it's almost like a switch flips in her, and she's back into retail mode.
Apples! Juicy apples!
So Apples does technically have a routine, but there's something different here. Fiona's routine felt like it had a realness to it. Apples' routine kind of feels like retail purgatory. She stands in the same spot all day, yelling about imaginary apples, waiting for customers who never come, and then goes home to silently recharge before doing it again. Which, to be fair, might be the most realistic NPC routine I've ever seen. Shout out retail workers. But we still need to find out where Linen Jester and Mr. Beast go. So we're going to skip time and follow each of them properly. Alright, Jester, I'm not letting you out of my sight this time. And she's off. So I guess she didn't disappear. It looks like she's going home. She's washing her face. Oh, she doesn't live here? Just a quick sneaky clean at someone else's house. Classic Linen Jester. No way. She's heading into Fiona's tavern. Okay, so she sat down to have a bevy with the boys.
Oh yes, that ointment.
She's having an actual conversation with the guys at this table. This is already more social interaction than she had an entire day at the market. You ever make small talk with someone at a bar and then realize you've exhausted all possible small talk? So you just kind of sit there? That's currently happening at this table. And there's Fiona coming in for a drink. I kind of miss Fiona after the last couple days hanging out with these vendor goofs. And here's another way Kingdom Come feels different from other games' NPCs. The routines overlap in a way that feels organic. It feels like a real small community. I'm actually a little jealous. See, this is what cars have done to us. We used to spend our whole lives in the same community, seeing the same people every day. I live with a constant feeling that I just don't see people enough. But it wasn't always like that. I know things were wall-to-wall shit back in this time, but that feeling of togetherness here does feel really nice to me. Guys, holy shit. I just caught a snippet of conversation with Fiona and this dude. Fiona is having an affair with this guy and she's telling him to leave his wife.
You don't care about us at all. Why did you marry that old battle axe anyway?
This is crazy. I knew she wasn't happy with that bum that does nothing all day. The man's refusing. He says they're over.
How about a kiss farewell?
Are you serious? What about my marriage vows?
This is so sad. This changes everything. I thought Fiona was just tired. I thought she was just overworked. But Fiona has lore. Is this why you kill all the chickens? Where is she off to? I can't lose sight of the Jester. She's not going to the coop. There is no way. Fiona, it's like midnight. Oh my god. Whoa. It really is her coping mechanism for a broken heart. This pumpkin-headed scumbag is fucking with Fiona. The Linen Jester's off. I started getting a bit conflicted at this point. My job was to observe the Jester, but this twist had me reeling. We'll have to deal with Pumpkinhead later. For now, I still had 2 vendors left. Linen Jester went home, slept on a bench while her husband took the bed. Classic them. And in the morning, I found something genuinely cool. She actually had a linen room. A whole little workspace connected to what she sells. She didn't actually carry the linens to the stall. Still a very cool touch that most people probably wouldn't notice. And then there was Mr. Beast. Technically, he was next. I waited until after his shift. He had a home. He lived right next to the Linen Jester. He washed, ate, prayed, wandered around in the rain, and went to the tavern. So yes, Mr. Beast had a routine. Not a dignified routine, but a routine nonetheless. And on any other day, that would have been enough. But his second time to the tavern, I saw Fiona again. But something was different about her. She looked filthy and exhausted. I kept thinking about that conversation from the previous night. I had come to Miskowitz to study NPC routines, and somewhere along the way, this stopped feeling like a test and started feeling like I lived here. I cared about Fiona, and I cared about Pumpkinhead, the man who had looked this exhausted, dirt-covered maid in the eyes and said no. So I made a decision. The experiment was over, the community audit was over, and when I came to terms with that, I knew what to do next. I'm going to find Pumpkinhead. I spent the next day scouring the town for any sign of him. It's such a small town, he had to be somewhere. But I couldn't find him. No Pumpkinhead at the market, no Pumpkinhead by the pond, nothing. But I did know he went to the tavern at night, at least some nights. So I waited until night and went back to the tavern, and he wasn't there. For 3 nights in a row I returned to the tavern with no Pumpkinhead. I started to worry. What if he was gone? What if Pumpkinhead was a soldier and he'd been called away to fight somewhere? And that thought stressed me out, because if he's gone, these routines are too intricate, I may never find him again. He could be touring the whole map for all I know. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. But then on the next night, there he was. I didn't actually know what I was going to do in the moment, and I ended up just sitting across from him. His buddy also came and sat with us, and for a moment it almost felt normal. Just 3 guys having a beer. It felt like maybe I'd been blinded by my admiration for Fiona, that I hadn't seen things from this man's perspective. Then he stood up, so I stood up, and this fucking guy immediately got pissed off at me for being out without a light. Like the second I stood up. He didn't even have his light out yet. And then he does this super dramatic turn. Give me a break, dude. This guy breaks Fiona's heart and then starts enforcing candle law? Absolutely not. So I started following him. Let's see where this asshat goes. Is he leaving town? At first I thought he might be going home to his wife, which would have been rich. But when he got back to his house, there was no wife there. Well, this is a shock. No wife, no cozy little domestic setup, no family dinner. Just Pumpkinhead and the boys. He wasn't choosing marriage over Fiona. He was choosing nothing over Fiona. He was just using her. So I waited until morning. People were feeling less than enthused about me standing around waiting for the pumpkin to wake up, but eventually I realized what was going on. He wasn't some random tavern guy. Pumpkinhead was a guard, which honestly explained everything. The power trip, the instant moral superiority about my lack of lantern. This man had authority. He started doing his guard laps, and that's when I decided to try something. Maybe I couldn't remove Pumpkinhead from Fiona's life, but maybe I could at least inconvenience him. So I started pushing him off his patrol route. Just a little. A nudge here, a shoulder there, and then somehow, beautifully, accidentally, I got him wedged between the bridge and the creek.
Damn it.
I think I might have him stuck. He was trapped in his own tiny little jail, a prison of wood. Good boy, Mutt. I left him there. I thought maybe that was enough. Maybe I had solved the Fiona problem without crossing any serious lines. Maybe Pumpkinhead would spend the rest of the game trapped behind a fence, thinking about his choices, while Fiona slowly rebuilt her life. But then I went back to the bar the next night, and he was there again, back in Fiona's orbit. The game had corrected him. Miskowitz had restored him. The town had forgiven what I could not. And that's when I knew the fence wasn't enough. If Pumpkinhead was going to keep coming back, if the game was going to keep putting him back into Fiona's world, then I had to take matters into my own hands, permanently. So I waited for him again, and when I found him, I didn't try to trap him in a fence. I drew him out of town.
Well, sheathe that weapon.
Away from the tavern, away from Fiona, into the woods, far from the eyes of Miskowitz. And in the silence of those trees, I had a brief moment of clarity. I was about to kill a man over a conversation I had eavesdropped on in a video game, because of a fictional woman. Anyway, the fight was not heroic. We hacked at each other like 2 drunks fighting over the last donaire. I took a hit, he took a hit. Eventually, somehow, I was standing and he was not. Fuck you, Pumpkinhead. Then I went back to town, because that was the real test. Not whether Pumpkinhead could be removed, whether Miskowitz would notice. Would the guards react? Would Fiona mention him? No. Not even a little bit. The next morning after I healed, Miskowitz woke up exactly the same. Mr. Beast returned to his stall and continued selling imaginary pies. Apples went back to yelling about fruit she didn't have. Linen Jester stood there in her little outfit, quietly waiting for the linens to find their people. And Fiona went back to work. The world kept moving. No one searched the woods. No one formed a little medieval investigation committee. I had managed to remove Pumpkinhead entirely from the community, and the community did not notice. The perfect crime. And from a purely systems-based perspective, this was fascinating. Pumpkinhead was gone, and the town simply closed around the space where he used to be. And that should have been the end of it, but I couldn't stop thinking about her. Because Pumpkinhead was gone now, her husband was still a useless schlub who stood around all day. What if she had simply never met someone who was willing to pull their own own weight. Someone who understood her routine. Because after watching an NPC for this long, at first you're studying them, but then you start predicting their needs. Maybe I could provide for her. Maybe I could become part of the routine. Isn't the ultimate NPC one whose life I can integrate into however I would want to? I wasn't asking for much. I didn't need a romance option. I just wanted to make her day a little easier. I just wanted to feel like a companion. But every time I tried, I only made things worse. No matter what I did, I wasn't becoming part of her routine. I was interrupting it.
Do you want to hit me, you idiot? Are you mad? You almost hit me. Don't ever fool around like that again. Get away from me.
And that's when it dawned on me. Fiona was not the empty prop. I was. Fiona had a complete complex life. She was woven into the very fabric of this town, and I wasn't. I could follow her through every hour of her day, learn her schedule, but I could not actually belong to her world. I had all this freedom, but I did not have the power to help Fiona carry a bucket, and that was kind of devastating. Fiona doesn't exist for me. She exists despite me. Every morning she wakes up and begins again, and every morning I'm still outside, watching. And maybe that's what happened to the leading husband. Maybe he wasn't lazy. Maybe he was the last person who tried to help Fiona. And slowly, after days of being ignored, yelled at, and reported to the guards, he accepted the only role the world would give him. The lean. Just a man against a wall. A silent witness. Forever destined to watch over our sweet Fiona. So I joined him, because that was all I could ever do. A man leaning against a wall, watching Fiona work. And for the first time in the whole experiment, I understood him. Not because he had no life, but because Fiona had one, and we were just lucky to stand near it.